All right. Welcome to the Rude Barden podcast, everyone. We're doing something a little different tonight. What are we doing, Rude?
Different, man. It's a nice chill hang.
It's a Friday. A Friday. Nice.
Friday. It's a Friday evening,
Yeah.
All the work's been done for the week, and we're
Yeah,
just
thank
chilling
God.
out. I think it's
Yeah.
a little bit different.
Yeah. And you had
I like
Chatty Cathy over at your house for a little
Yeah,
while, so you had to get on a little late tonight, didn't you?
I staved this off for a little while, but we got that taken care of. So I'm just ready to hang and chill with the boys.
Nice. Well, you're in luck. We have one of the boys here tonight.
Fantastic.
T is with us.
One of our favorites.
One of our favorites. Wealth of information. We tangent off on like a million things. That's why the ticker is going down below. It's talking about we're just kind of shooting the shit, shooting from the hip tonight. So we hope you enjoy it. There's very fascinating, interesting conversations going on. So I hope you enjoy it. And please comment on something you want to hear. There's a few topics that we want to do some podcasts on as we talk about things that you'll hear. So please let us know if there's something that in particular you'd like to hear. We'd love to do a topic, a little more deep dive on it for you. So let us know, right?
Yeah, we don't get to pin down tea very often, and when we do, it's hours of conversation. So we thought, what the hell? Let's throw it on the cast and record it and
Record this
have
shit.
a good time. But yeah, like Jim said, there's a ton of stuff that's going to come up. So please, let us know in the comments what you want us to cover, and we can get T back on and see if we can narrow him down to like one of these things, because he is a wealth of knowledge, and he's a
He
great
will go off on other
great
topics.
guy.
all the time.
Yes.
I love it.
Hey, and by the way, just to throw it out there, check out the rudebarn.etsy.com.
Check out our merch. I'm going to try to throw up some Halloween merch
Oh yeah,
up there. There's a couple of things, I have a couple ideas I have that would be kind of fun to go check out.
Scaries. I like it.
Yeah, and there's a big holiday coming up in a couple months. I can't remember what it is, but we've got some stuff up there. Might make some good gifts. So check that out. So anyway, enjoy the chit chat. It is interesting. It's fascinating. Kind of sitting there, grab a beer, grab a little whiskey, grab something.
Yeah,
Coca-Cola if you prefer that, and enjoy the conversation. And welcome to the Rude Barn Podcast.
This is how the Democratic Party got hijacked, for God's sakes. I mean, there's a lot of decent Democrats that are out there that are actually more on the page of conservative or Republican than they actually give themselves credit. But for whatever reason, their parents voted blue, so they want to stick to that route. Yet, the president that freed the slaves, Abe Lincoln, is the one that ends up getting killed, and then his vice president, for whatever reason, was chosen to be a Democrat. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, what's up with that?
He immediately takes over and rides the coattails of the president that freed everything. So now everybody thinks that, Johnson. I think it was Johnson that was his vice president.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He's responsible. Yeah. And the crazy thing is that Abe Lincoln didn't give a shit if he freed him or not. He didn't care. This is actually another thing that nobody knows about. He didn't care if they freed him or not. He just wanted his people, his side of the military to flourish, to win, he's the one that created the IRS, for God's sakes, to help fund and nobody knows, pays attention to that shit.
Yeah.
It was only supposed to be to fund the war, but just like the tolls, the tolls are supposed to be used to fund a project, a highway, a throughway, or whatever the case is. And they go, hey, this toll thing's pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
it's making some serious money. Let's just leave it just where it is.
You've never seen a tax ever go away.
No.
It's always temporary. No.
But who benefits from the tax?
Yeah.
Who benefits from the tax? The Federal Reserve.
Right.
So there's a book that's called The Creature from Jekyll Island.
I still have to get that. Damn it. Every time.
So The Creature from Jekyll Island is literally a private train car that latches on. The train people are on the train. They got these, guys are dressed up as fishermen, and they're in plain clothes and all this other shit, blending into everybody else around them. They get on a private car. The train backs up, latches onto the car, and Jekyll Island, Georgia, is where these guys met. They were dressed as fishermen and commoners and blah, blah, blah. But this is the money barons. You know, like Daddy Warbucks from Annie.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so that's actually a real figure. That's Warburger. Okay, the last name is Warburger.
So they just changed it to Warbucks to.
Yeah, Daddy Warbucks is just a nickname for Warburger.
Yeah.
You know, these are warmongers that, you know, that this is how they make the fucking money. I mean, we're going back. I don't know if Rudy, it's very profitable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's, you know, that this is how it stirs up the pot and, you know, keeps the grease going.
Yeah.
You know, I always, and I know I'm going to be off on a bunch of tangents, man. You know, ripping
Not you, Tom.
that's,
Come on,
yeah,
dude.
that, you know, that mower, you know, you pull that string and the goddamn engine is just,
It just
you know,
goes.
so, you know, we need a positive and negative for everything in life. We couldn't start our car in the morning without our battery, right? It is what it is. We got to have that polar opposite, you know, to keep things rolling. So in this case, I was just mentioning to Jim about how I don't think we won, you know, the war. So we're going to be 250 years old next year, and yet we kicked Britain's ass, and then we find out weird shit like in 1776, July 4th, 1776, after beating, you know, the ass of Britain, somehow redcoats were still here in the United States at 1794. What? Why the hell weren't they just get their ass kicked in the street? Like, what are you doing here? Why are you dressed up the way you are?
Yeah.
You know, that's
otherwise-
disrespectful. Throw
Yeah.
on some jeans for God's sakes. You know, Levi's is cranking them out by then.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't even know if it was Levi's. Probably, you know, it was like
Maybe a couple years later.
1910.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the gold rush.
Yep.
So you've got all this these people dressed up until 1794 was last known Brit soldier to leave the country.
Yeah.
1783 was the Paris Treaty, and part of that was the negotiation that our government, of course, the one that whooped Britain's ass, out of generosity, we're going to pay for the debt of the British merchants. How does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Was that the beginning of every single war we go into? We pay to rebuild, and obviously somebody's making some money.
We pay to rebuild it, right?
Yeah.
We pay to rebuild it. But what's our take? You and I, all three of us right now are investors.
Yeah.
With our taxes into this corporation, right?
Yeah.
Where's our feedback? Where's our take?
Dividends?
Yeah.
I'm not getting
Where's
shit.
my quarterlies? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not getting shit.
Right.
Okay, so it's all going back into the money, the coffers of the Federal Reserve, which is a corporation and not a federal office whatsoever.
Right.
It actually is. There's never, and I repeat, never been an audit. Ron Paul's been after one for years.
Yeah.
As soon as that shit becomes approved, somebody's going down. I'm telling you that right now. They don't want the secrets to be aired out.
Oh,
But
no.
so the Federal Reserve, 1913, we had a president, Woodrow Wilson, who was complicit as hell in this whole thing. And if you listen to his quotes, he explains that here 120 some odd or 115 years later, what is it? 113 years later,
Yeah.
Something like
we're
that.
just getting the gist of this. Right?
Yeah.
My father is 81 years old, never knew any of this shit. His father, who came here in 1914, not only didn't give a shit.
Right.
Because he was learning the ropes as an Italian immigrant.
Trying to make some money.
You know, just trying to, hey,
yeah.
my dude, he was, told that the roads were paved in gold like the Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Until they pull back the curtain and they see all the machinery and the great and wonderful bullshit that
Right.
and they're all they're all symbols. The scarecrow, the lion,
Oh yeah.
we're the straw man. We are the straw men.
Yeah.
Look up the straw man fallacy on YouTube and watch that. That's fascinating. It explains quite a bit. But like literally, it's all bank transactions. Everything is a bank transaction.
Is
Our
that where the
birth.
straw purchase comes from
Possibly.
possibly.
We are nothing more than, since we're businessmen, we can talk in these terms. Our birth certificate is literally going down to the county clerk's office and registering a DBA.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are doing business as our name.
We're corporate entities, yes.
We are nothing more than a DBA. Well, technically, we're I guess a corporation.
Yeah.
Since that was it was formed, and our tax ID is our social security number.
Mhm.
That's when the social
Yeah,
system
bullshit.
started. Now we are all technically pre-funded, like a Monopoly game. How the banker gives out $1,500 per player, and we're supposed to navigate that and pass go and collect 200 and all the, once you do, you buy your property and you know the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that is how life is. So we are that certificate that is now monetized in a bank that is created by the player, or the bank is issuing it to the player. But you and I are not even getting those little fake dollar bills. We are getting a commerce fund that is created on their ledger. Okay? And through our system that's been set up by the Rockefellers and our indoctrination and through the education of all of this bullshit, they get to see how we're going to produce to society. So you wonder how these businesses actually survive. So I'm going to talk about some inner city kids, and I grew up in the hood. I have my hood card officially. I mean, I used to make, government grilled cheese with the rest of the neighborhood. I didn't give a shit if you were white, purple,
Government
black.
cheese.
Yeah, government. It was fucking phenomenal. It was the best grilled cheese I've ever had in my life.
Oh, it was.
But
My
there was
grandmother
times
used
that
to get the big block of government cheese.
hell yeah, in the
big
box.
ass thing, and we
It was
used
government right on the side, man.
It's so good.
That was like,
So
oh
bad
my
for
god,
you.
it was
So
creamy
good.
as hell.
Oh yeah.
But then they came out with this other stuff that was like Velveeta, and I wasn't a big fan of Velveeta.
Yeah.
It made good mac and cheese,
Yep.
but I didn't like the cheese sandwiches. It didn't go well with Toasted Wonder. So
exactly.
and our fucking juice barrels, I swear they were poisoning us at a young age.
Of course.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was nuts. So now you've got this fund that's funded for us, but for their benefit.
Yeah.
We are kids. They're living off our parents, and we're going through the system. Now, a juvenile delinquent starts little check marks toward that kid and the evolution. They already know by the analytics of whatever the year that it was, without it being as formal as it is now and automated, that's why they have this expression when they go to jail, how they paid their debt to society. Okay. How do you think the jails make money? It's like an Airbnb of the 1913s.
Yeah, I think the fuller they are, the more subsidies they get, right?
1 year. If say somebody's there for a year, how does that person pay their debt to society? We are all called chattel or chattel. We were to bail the United States out of their bankruptcy under Woodrow Wilson. We became the collateral, and we pay it in taxation for the rest of our lives. None of us are contractually signed to this shit.
Right. Amazing.
None of us on this podcast were approved our names. Our parents created that.
Yeah.
They got sucked into the fraud, is what it was.
Right. And
So now, they didn't know. They're all unwitting. Yeah. And that's what's funny is that if you listen to all of Woodrow Wilson's quotes, he said by the time they figure it out, it'll be too late. Well, this is the generation that we're in now, because now we're exposing all of this bullshit. And now there's the new layer of bullshit where we're actually thinking that we're included and maybe one-upping and giving it to the man. Yeah. The man is the Ashkenazi families of Rothschild and all the surrounding hierarchy of Zionism, not Israelites,
right?
But the Hungarian Jews that are a completely different, a whole different. This shit goes back to freaking like the Mongols, man, like Genghis Khan shit. I mean, this you got the Khazars and all the history that comes out, and you go, God damn it, that's how that works. You got to be kidding me.
I was going to ask you about that, T. I mean, while we're on the subject, I might as well, because okay, it was always told to me, like I was raised born again Christian, right? And I kind of always had those values and the way that that church looked at I guess tithing and why we had to protect Israel, right? And that had always kind of been, it had been told to us, but then kind of glossed over.
Well, Israel was basically, they stated that Israel were the chosen people.
Right, exactly.
But they're not. That's the problem.
Well,
you have the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Right.
Okay. And I am definitely, I'm going to have to send you the links to this guy that actually flips shit upside down, bitch slaps everybody, and walks the fuck out of the room. You're like, what the hell just happened? I mean, the man puts it in a way that shuts Muslims up like that. If they're so anti-Jewish, why are all their prophets Hebrew?
That I never understood.
No, and neither do they. And
Jesus
do they
was
not?
The king of the Jews, apparently, as well. So
Jesus was Hebrew.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and they called him Isa, right?
Yeah.
So, but they don't believe that he was the Messiah, the Messiah, or whatever, however they want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
You know, and if it wasn't for the Ashkenazis, the Zionists, that, you know, didn't like what this dude was doing. You got a little, you know, he's got a little uprising going on here. He's bad for business. Hey, Pontius, you got to get rid of this motherfucker. He's tearing stuff up.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like what he's doing. He's stirring the pot. He's fucking with my, you know, my taxes over here. My scale hasn't been worked in 3 days. What's going on? You know, with the Yiddish, you know, so all of a sudden, Pontius Pilate's like, hey, they're yeah, exactly. It's very close to German, which is kind of funny. So now you have you've got Pontius Pilate, you know, being told that this guy is going to take over. He's going to be more powerful than Caesar, and you know, Caesar, you know, like it's a whole bullshit thing. Yeah. And then Pontius Pilate says, you know, this guy is bad for business. We're going to take care of it. So we're going to throw his ass up on the cross, and you know, him and his two other, you know, compadres that you see in every symbol that's there. You know, they're criminals, obviously. Well, guess what? There's scripture that says, and is documented by the haters, that Pontius Pilate regretted this, and his wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not as eloquent with the Bible, but I'll tell you right now, I was born as a Roman Catholic, but I always doubted it. I always doubted, you know, more so I was following questions. Well, no, I straight up doubted it because I followed the religion until I found out Santa Claus wasn't real. And I'm like, everybody's bullshitting me.
Nobody's real. Yeah.
I got a ghost daddy up in the sky that
There's
I'm praying to.
Way he could
There's no way.
No way.
Yeah, no way. No, his fat ass couldn't fit in my chimney. You know, there's no, and it's just, and now you've got this whole thing about I got to follow Jesus, and then there's this King James version book that's in, you know, why is it a version? Why can't I have the original? Like the Muslims have a book that hasn't changed since Muhammad wrote it. I have more respect for the consistency of their religion than mine, only to find out that King James nixed all the references to the sovereignty of the people, which means they're created by God. Right? So when they do that, they have the power, more power than that of the king, because you can't make somebody a sovereign unless you're sovereign yourself. The power of the people appoint the king. So the King James got rid of all that shit. Otherwise, these people that are becoming more educated, like us now, 113 years later, I'm only 55. I'm a fifth. Am I right? No,
Yeah.
50 times. Yeah, I'm a fifth
Yeah.
of the age of this country.
Yeah.
That blows my mind, dude. We are young as hell and the
Yeah.
most powerful country that this world has ever known. Why? Why is that?
Well, and that's kind of the thing. I think it seems like that protection of Israel, whether we agree with it or not, that I think is padding that power for some reason. And why is that?
It's the money. It's the fake ass money that they created this system. So when when Moses comes down from Mount Sinai or Sinai, however you want to pronounce it, and he has, I mean, Mel Brooks was fucking hilarious. He comes down, History of the World Part 2 or whatever he comes off the mountain with 10 commandments. I mean, that shit had me pissing my pants.
Oh yeah.
So when you come down, you have Dathan, doing his thing with the gold calf bullshit and all the debauchery. That was Las Vegas near Mount Sinai.
Sodom and Gomorrah, man.
Yeah. Sodomizing what?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder where these, where they come up with these terms. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the source? Like, by the way, Rudy, we just found out that the term cis male.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this.
And cisgender bullshit is actually real. It's a real thing. It's based on Latin, meaning of the same kind.
Of the same
like
kind,
cis molecule as opposed to trans molecule. So they're pulling source words from these things, and that's what it is. So here I can't even rip on them now.
Yeah,
we fact checked it and it came back as something real. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
So and when they do bleed, it's not transmission fluid. We found that out too. So
it is a fact, Red.
It is a fact. It's undisputed. They bleed just like us. They just don't know what they are.
Yeah.
And they don't know why their parts and pieces are supposed to fit in everybody else if that's not what they want.
Right.
So I go off on another tangent, but this whole legal fiction is what it's referred to for our banking. So let me back it up a little bit. Education. If we have a student loan or know about how that whole process works, you go to a school, say a community college. You want to matriculate into community college, you get your classes, you get a bill and blah, blah, blah. But part of that bill means you have to show a proof of residency. The tuition for local residents as opposed to outside residents, completely different animal. So if you are a local resident, you produce a letter that shows proof that you live within that area. They give that certificate or that statement to the registrar. When they give that to the registrar and they pay your bill and it's discounted, let's say it's $12,000 for out of state or out of the area residents. And for those that are within that area, it's $2,000 tuition. Right? You're like, damn, I just saved myself 10 grand. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because I live in this area, I can benefit from that. Awesome. Then I find out that slip of paper that goes to their registrar, they take that same slip of paper and they send it back to the town of whatever the hell you're a resident of as a bill. And they pay the difference through your property taxes.
What?
Every single student that's in that fucking school pays the same amount of money, $12,000 a head per semester or whatever the hell it is, right? They're all paying it the same amount. If you're a local and you get that discount, your town, city, whatever county, they're paying it through the budget.
Through the property taxes they collect that is supposed to go to
all of the taxation. Yes, the school taxes and everything else.
So they're not talking elementary through high school. They're talking also
about anything. Anything. The college the school districts and all the bullshit, they're all businesses.
Yeah.
When you open up XYZ Community College, it is a corporation that is classified under a completely different thing. They don't have to. They literally go to these banks and it's free money because it's another cycle. It's a different classification. There's all kinds of crazy. They see money hand over fist.
Right, but
One of
they're
my
not
closest
taxed, right, or they're not tax heavy.
they are
on
a
it or
tax
something
exempt, just like a
tax-
church.
Sure.
They're
That's why
tax
we-
exempt status. They have a completely. It's a 508c1a foundation. So and
That's
it's an
why we have all these
educational system.
tech colleges or all these
Mhm.
nursing schools or these trade schools are out there because they're getting that tax benefit as being an educational institution, even though they're not a 4-year or 2-year community college or a 4-year university. They're just a tech school. But they're
They
also
get
benefiting from that education tax break, whatever.
they get subsidies. It's all designed to where the federal or state, they have the subsidy.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Chicago right now, they don't want to fix the crime rate because it's profitable for them.
That's what I was going to say, because they're getting subsidized for it.
They are making money hand over fist, and they don't give a shit if they kill each other. Black on black crime,
Yeah,
they don't
right?
fucking care.
Shit. Yeah, they're like,
Dude, they ain't
let
doing
them kill
shit.
themselves. Yeah, let them
Yep.
kill themselves.
You got a black
they're
mayor, black governor, whatever the hell it is, and they're like, black on black crime. They don't care. As a matter of fact, something, dude, they don't even know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And then
That's
they get defiant when you call them out.
Well,
You say, listen, man, you
yeah.
just don't, like my cousin who sells pharmaceuticals. I pulled her up and her husband does. I wish they would find a cure for cancer. So, and they're like, and she says to me, well, that sucks because then Dan couldn't pay for the mortgage in our, whatever,
We talked about that
BMW.
earlier. Yeah.
And I go, are you kidding me? You lost your mother to cancer. You lost your father to cancer, Uncle John to cancer, my grandmother to cancer, her aunt, and why not have them? So what if you have to find another fucking job?
Yeah.
It's like religion. Is it profit or is it profit?
Right. All right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's play on words.
Yeah.
It's, like different spelling. Is it pharma, PHARMA, or FARMA? No, pharma's natural. No patents, no money, no shit.
But pH.
The pH is petroleum based. Yeah. You can patent it and make all kinds of money.
Yeah.
Tesla wants to give away free energy. Carnegie, who funded his ass, says, hell no. We're going to put a meter on everybody's house and we're going to make money. You know what I'm saying? It was ridiculous.
And his files snatched.
And his files, yeah. And I mean, the technology that he created, dude, the shit that we are so wrapped up and lost in the sauce with our day-to-day drama and bullshit that we all worry about. It gives us a pit in our stomach and everything else that actually sways us away from our faith because we doubt that we're not ever going to get through it, but we're going to get through it.
Oh, yeah.
We have no choice. And everything we worry about, we can't take with us anyways. So what the fuck are you worried about? You know what I mean? We just want to have certain be able to play that game a little further on the Monopoly board. That's it.
Yeah.
With useless money. They're all IOUs.
They tried to do the same thing with AIDS until a celebrity, came out and said they were cured or they were being cured or whatever. And that motherfucker's still alive. Just saw an interview with him the other day.
Magic Johnson, left the Lakers way back in his prime of his career.
He had HIV.
He had HIV, supposedly, or whatever.
He did.
Okay.
But HIV, they have a cure.
He's still alive, and this is 30 plus whatever years later.
But that was the thing.
Longer than that.
Had there not been a celebrity that came out and had the money and wasn't suppressed, had the money to find a cure or keep in search and keep himself alive, I guess, until they found something that would help and something that would kind of not necessarily cure it, but stabilize it. Then they couldn't do that. They couldn't monopolize on it like they do the cancer.
Yeah.
It's such a farce, dude. If we literally, like in school, they never taught us how to even balance a checkbook. They never taught us to be, and I mean, the kids today are like, what the hell is a checkbook?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything that is being created for convenience is controlled.
Oh, exactly. We
So
talked
when
about
I was
that.
a kid, you know, the welfare monies that were being spent were torn out of what looked like a checkbook
Coupon
ledger.
book. Yeah.
You know, a
Yeah.
coupon book. You tore off that
Mhm.
funny ass money. It was embarrassing as shit.
Yeah.
You know, you got to tear the white singles, the pink fives, the fucking green tens. If that wasn't Monopoly money, I don't know. Right?
I remember my mom hated going to the store because she worked at that store part time, and she
Yeah.
worked at my grandparents' restaurant, you know, full time, and she had to go in there and still use those and
Yep.
give them to her employees. You know what I mean? And she was a
Yeah.
checker, and she had to give it to her friend checker, and it's like she was so embarrassed to go do that, but it was like, what are you gonna do? But
Dude,
kids don't know about that nowadays. They
don't
don't
know
know.
about that because they have that friggin' EBT bullshit, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the
It's like a debit
EBT
card.
is nothing more than a prepaid card,
Yep.
Mhm.
right? So then, you know, if they want to turn that off, they can turn that off. Wait till
Mhm.
cryptocurrency kicks in,
Hey,
and all of a sudden, you know,
digital bullshit.
it's a light switch. Oh, there's so much shit, Jim.
I know.
I'll blow your. I mean, your mind will be fucking blown.
We did
Look up
one of our
nano networks. I'm on a
oh
podcast.
yeah. One of our very first episodes here, we were talking about the CBDC.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
That's what kind of
adorable.
launched. That's kind of launched this whole thing that we want to talk about. Like that was one of the topics of 2 or 3 that we did. The one I can't find was our very first one. We talked about the Baltimore, the Francis Scott Key Bridge being knocked into.
Put your mic a little closer, Jim. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
there
so
you
it was a Francis Scott Key Bridge, and I can't find that episode. That was the very first podcast we did. We were talking about the cargo ship crashing into the bridge in
Mhm.
Baltimore. I can't find it. I don't know where that went.
All the shit's disappearing. By the way, that I had a question about the Vegas shooter in 2017.
Oh, I want to
when
do
he
a
was
cast on that. Yeah.
well, you got to look up the latest in look that up. There's a podcast that showed 4 days ago about a like a Delta operator or something like that, analyst
Okay.
that picked the shit out of it. It's like 2.5, 3 hours though.
Ooh,
And this guy,
yeah.
dude, there's a lot of shit hitting the surface right now, and it's not painting a good picture on the people that I just mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the reason that we are so loyal to Israel right now is because the banks. Everything is about the fucking banks. By the way, Rudy, that whole thing with George Washington for the Paris Treaty and the whole, picking up the debt from the British merchants. At the time, the British crown was bankrupt. King George, that fat slob, gluttonous pig that he was so bankrupt that the Rothschild have seed in the crown. And there's an actual royal that's in New Zealand that wants to claim that there's an illegitimate king in the position of king because his seed is flawed and that they're tied to the Rothschilds and the 33 degree Masons and all the freaking.
Are you talking like one of the current occupiers of the royalty in Great Britain?
I'm talking about Windsor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is not good. This shit is not good.
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit that they just Hillary Clinton couldn't get there faster than them.
See, this is another topic we need to do. I want to do this.
This is dangerous shit. I know. That's what's up. Okay, this is some dangerous shit. No, not at all. Little depressed that the fake money isn't coming in as fast as it should. But
Monopoly money isn't coming in digitally like it should be.
What's fucked up is that the stores take coupons as tender.
Oh, yeah.
Right, toward food. They actually don't.
Oh, I think we just lost.
Manufacturers get food. Shh. They deposit that as food and as tender to the manufacturers, who actually issue them a check. The history of the money blows my mind, dude. It blows my mind. It was all gold. It's like, he came in with this 5 pounds of gold. He hasn't been in very often. Maybe we can lend it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fractional banking, checks, all that, coin. It's fucking fascinating. There's 2 books you guys absolutely have to tolerate. If you got to use the Audible while you're driving, The Creature from Jekyll Island is an absolute must. And the other one's not a digital, but it's called The Fruit from the Poisonous Tree.
Oh yeah. These are the 2 you keep telling me about.
I'm telling you guys, it'll flip the script. The guy that wrote The Fruit from the Poisonous Tree and I have similarities in our career, from an intel side, from a military side. He was way more accomplished on the military, and he was became a lawyer. He became a whole bunch of shit. But the similar path is what caught my attention. I'm like, what the hell? This guy basically got off the grid. I mean, everything was like, screw everybody. I'll pay for the sales tax side and do the commerce side with what we do, right? How we transact. He doesn't pay his, what do you call it, tax? Nothing. Like, there's no tax. Yeah, prove it kind of thing. It's all bullshit. So, and it's not like a sovereign citizen thing. There's a lot of, all right. So, the expression holy rollers, right?
Yeah. Right.
There's, and no offenses to anybody that, could be charismatic, because you mentioned born again. There's different born agains.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's different factions. Yeah,
you got born again that claim to be born again, that are out there, with snake venom, for God's sakes, or they're considered holy rollers, or they're just charismatic, or they're speaking in tongues, or whatever the case is. Somebody says, I speak in tongues. Somebody says, that person speaks gibberish, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Nobody's perfect. We all live in a glass house. Who's going to cast his first stone? You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm a Roman Catholic that was born Roman Catholic, that doubted everything, but I don't doubt Jesus Christ because of his haters who documented it. Okay? These people thought that much into writing down all of this shit because they didn't like this man. He obviously was a thing.